Okay, well, today is Monday, April 7th, 2025, and I did not get any actual work done today, but what I did do is I figured out how I want to do the loading. I don't know if you remember from the last time, this is actually how I wanted it to load up. And the wider it gets, the more the tree kind of expands like this ways. And I was trying to get Grok to help me write it. Let's reload the save scene because this is where I moved him. Reload save scene. This is its placement dealing. And so I needed to maintain the parent-child relationship and still separate the branches out. I was having a hard time getting it to do that. Each time it would do it different, weirdly. It wouldn't take things into account. So what I'll do is I'll have a little button here. I'll place these wherever I want to put them. It's going to go iterate through all the room nodes here, and then it's going to save the position in the meta file. The next time I reload the scene, where when I reload it, I'll have a script. The editor map script will come in and it will see if the metadata file is there. If it is, then it's going to place the node positions in the right place. And that way I can save everything. I can lay it out like I want to. And it does mean I have to lay out everything manually, but it's not really a big a deal. You know, I just do it the way I want to do it, and I can visualize it. I can put them in any place I want to, because later on I'm going to have lines that will go to each of the rooms, to each of the children. And so you'll see it as kind of this branch tree structure. So I just kind of solved my problem of how I'm going to do the layout thing. Like I was overthinking it, like having it automatically space it out and stuff. I could still do that eventually, but that's just a bunch of extra work I don't need to do right. All I need is I need a layout tool. I'm going to have an add room button. I'm going to have a remove room button, and then I'm going to place it and it'll save the position of the rooms in this file, and then we'll go from there. Sounds like problem solved. So keep your fingers crossed. Today, Tuesday, April 8th, 2025. Again, didn't get anything done. Well, that's not true. What it is before I decided I was going to go ahead and have it save location for the room nodes, I figured I needed to tweak the file name yet again. I renamed the IDs. The IDs are going to be location IDs, and then you have a location name, but then you have a variant like Forest 1. The first location will be the straight up name, and then the second one will be with the 1 on it, and then the next one with the 2, so that when I collapse them, I'll collapse them back into the name without any number at the end. But they'll share the same ID. The parent will now have the full file name, which includes the ID and the location name, including the variant. What was the other thing I did? Yeah, I removed the parent from the actual file name. Not removing the parent at all, but just from the file name. I'll add a location name to the actual room. I have to rework the rooms. That means I have to probably manually go through, which I have to do anyways if I'm going to split anything up into different decision points and stuff. And then I can do the thing about saving the positions. Even though I didn't physically get anything done today, I did finalize the file name spec. I finalized a few of the changes that will be in the rooms, and we'll see where we go from there tomorrow. So thanks. Today is Wednesday, April 9th, 2025, and today what I got done is I got the metadata part done. In other words, we'll eventually save room positions, but what it does right now is it's able to read the room position and set it, and it's able to create a file if the files don't exist. So if you notice, files don't exist here, so what I do is I go ahead and reload save scene. If you notice, it doesn't change because they're all 0. But that's because it created them, right? So now, even though I don't have the save feature, I can go in and manually edit them, save it, right? And then I can go ahead and scene, reload, save scene. And what you got here is you got it, now it's moved. So later when I put in a UI button, you click it and it will save the positions so that later you can come back, and that way I can rearrange rooms how I want to, the layout I want. And then I also had to change editor map from node 2D to a regular node, and then add a node 2D for rooms, and then put all the rooms underneath that. And I did that with the script in here. So this is the metadata for that. And then I had to add the path for the rooms path directly. And so whenever I add a child now, I'm adding it to room. The owner is still the edited scene root, which is fine because the editor map is still the owner. Load all rooms. It was removing the rooms node because I was removing the children. So now I removed the children from rooms itself. So it's not messing with the editor map anymore. And that's what I did today. Today, Thursday, April 10th, 2025, I basically finally got this working the way I want it to work, okay? So basically what I have is here's this, right? Now, these are JSON files, or the room files are JSON files, right? So if I move this around here, right, they're going to be here. There's no metadata here. Let's go ahead and reload save scene, and I'm hoping everything's going to work right because I had a bunch of troubles. Everything works good here. If I hit save, I don't know if you could notice, but down at the bottom, it changed. And that's because I now have the save room metadata button in the editor because I wrote a plugin. Well, actually, I didn't write it really. It was like Grok, and it was like a Brave Leo AI, and a bunch of back and forth and a bunch of trying things, and finally got something to work. And that was really the most important, was getting it to work. This is the editor plugin. Enter the trees. It signals a button press. Whenever you get button press, it goes in the editor map. Whenever you press the button, it goes to this function on say button press, say metadata for room, or else it'll create a new file and then save the metadata for the room. And then it's shown like all the file name. I had to extract the file name from the room and all kinds of stuff. And when I finally change the file names, it's going to be a pain in the butt to fix it. But I got this working. It's working. I'm finally getting to do what I want. That's all I got for today, and we'll see what goes on tomorrow. Okay, today is Friday, April 11th, 2025, and mostly what I did is I did a lot of renaming. So basically, I got rid of all the names, and since everything here is going to be a location, so the ID is going to be location ID, and the location is also a location. But spent all this time doing the names, going through manually, making sure that they're correct. It actually did pretty good this time. Probably on Monday, if I don't get to it sooner, I'll start adding the destinations, which should be this little destination ID here. Then I have them all renumbered. I probably have Grok do it. Renumber the destinations, but don't reorder them, just so they could stay in the same order that they were in. Anyways, that's all I got for today, and we'll see what happens on Monday.